Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Still, there's Edward. Yeah.
Hi, you missed me.
And here's David up here, hovering. Yeah. Yes, it blows you kisses. That's what David does.
Yeah.
That's how he rolls.
One person.
So, Mr. Silva, all right?
Deliver.
The word dropped today that Everton's been asking Watford about Silva, and that we've actually made an offer of $8.5 million to try to get him.
He seems to be the golden choice.
So I guess the question is,
I feel like that joke has a silver lining.
See, you know what's funny? Everybody's doing the Silva puns, and I don't know if you guys can see back there. I just went ahead and just wrote,
Yeah.
you know, because I initially wrote Silva lining, and then I was like 30 pieces of Silva, and then I saw all over Twitter, everybody's already doing it. So you know what?
Yeah.
Insert your own Silva call.
Yeah,
Okay?
get on with it, yeah.
So are we optimistic that this is going to happen? Because it seems like Watford are holding on like grim death at this moment.
This feels like another sort of Coleman situation. If we offer the right amount of money, he will come, but it'll just be for the money. So I personally don't want that.
Yeah, I agree.
And Watford fans all just hate us. And
Well, I mean, I don't care about...
yeah, not that much, but... well, the Watford fan I know would be pretty pissed, and I think he wouldn't really take much of a liking to me. So I'll leave that there. Sorry, Jacob, if you're watching.
Which I'm sure he is.
Jacob,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
taking your manager.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really, as they say, jury's out on this one. I think I've looked at his record, and although it's a decent record, there's some decent sides on there, and he's done well at them. I feel like he's a bit like Sean Dyche, flavour of the month, and I just don't think he's proven enough yet. The only Premier League club he was at, he got relegated with, which I'm not blaming him for. It's just a fact. He got relegated with them, and he's only been at Watford for it is just this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a few months, and it just screams mercenary. Basically, it's going to go two ways. He either won't come, or if he does, he's going to have to force the move, which to me then screams a mercenary. I know everybody in the game's mercenaries, but I think there's different levels, and that's a pretty high one.
Yeah. I've been kind of wanting this guy the whole time. I think I've been more optimistic about him. But mainly because I like the progress that he made at Hull. I thought he did a good job there despite them being relegated. I mean, he came into a hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was rough.
A hole-shaped hole.
Yeah. Whole city. So, but honestly, it was pretty rough on him to come into that type of situation, but he did well. And I look at what he's done at Watford. I think it's great. I just doubted his desire to come here. I didn't think it was going to happen. When I was talking to John from the Rookery End podcast, he was saying, he agreed. He didn't think he would want to come either because Everton are kind of in a little bit of a crisis. And I have to agree with him. But, however, I'm under the impression that a lot of times when the clubs interact and say, hey, we're going to pay you this money, that means they already have a deal going with the manager. So I feel like he's interested, and he's into it.
I do think he probably will come because there's been ample time for him to now come out in the press one way or the other and say, I am not interested, I don't want to go, and basically put a stop to any sort of links. And I don't think he's categorically done that as of yet.
It's this whole thing with Watford. I mean, they've said he's not going, but he hasn't said. Like you say, it's only Watford that have said anything. Apparently.
Of course.
I am under the impression that there is a soundbite you can find where he has said that he wasn't interested. but it wasn't lately. It wasn't today. It wasn't yesterday. It reminded me of the moment. Again, Edward, you made a really good point about this feeling like Koeman. It feels a lot like it, where both the manager comes out and says, I'm not really, that's not my thing. The club comes out and says, nah, and then Everton probably, I think we're going to have to pay over 10 million to get him, though.
And the question, and that sort of question you've got to be asking, is he worth that amount of money that you're paying for him?
It's a great question.
It's like any other transfer signing. Are they worth the money that we are putting in? Because, like you've said, David, he hasn't really proven himself at a big side. He's only really done it at, I think you said, Olympiakos, and teams like that.
He was at Sporting as well. In fact, he was actually involved with potentially one of the strangest sackings I've ever read about.
So weird.
Yeah,
go on.
So he won the domestic trophy in Portugal. Is that right, Gerry?
I actually I'm not sure about that. I only know the reason he got sacked.
Well. Anyway, he won a trophy. I can't be sure of the specifics, but just 4 days after winning that, he was sacked by the club for, and I quote, not wearing the club's official suit in the cup match. And that's the truth. It
kind of makes you think that was just that, like, they just didn't like him, and they gave that as their reason.
Yeah, like an excuse almost. And then he left Olympiakos a bit strangely as well, didn't he? Where it was personal reasons. Does anyone know what that was? Or
I actually don't know about that one.
No, so I don't know. There's an air of mystery about him. I'll give him that. I think what would maybe persuade me personally to him is just the alarming names that are getting linked with the Everton job, and it almost feels like we're running out of.
Well, apparently the whole thing with that, Allerdyce isn't interested. He's apparent.
I don't know if that's true though.
Well, no, but apparently, just hold on. He's not interested. This is according to the Toffee Blues Twitter. So at Everton Newsfeed, go follow them and check it all out. They have said that in the Mirror, Allerdyce said he's not interested because all that they would be offering is a 6-month contract, and he is not interested in that. So,
however,
if it's true, which it is the Daily Mail.
Now, hold on. I did hear. What was it? Isn't the big story today was Joyce's in the Times, where he's come out and said that really the only 3 we're really looking at right now are Silva, Allerdyce, and Unsworth. It's what it sounds like. That was the impression I got from the tweet that I was looking at. And he said that we'd have to get Allerdyce, we'd have to sort of come cap in hand and offer him closer to what he would want.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not happening.
Who is Allerdyce to call the shots, please? In this situation, Allerdyce should be the one begging, crawling at Goodison Park for the job at Everton, because it'd be the biggest job, except the international one in England. It'd be the biggest job he's ever had in his managerial career. So, and who is going to Allerdyce offering him this job? Nobody wants him. Sam, we don't want you. We do not want you at Everton Football Club. Simple as that. Unless we lose our next game.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
And then at that point, I will be going back into this video and editing out your bold comment and your middle finger, and it's honestly too much editing, Edward. Honestly, I'm on the fence as to whether or not this is actually going to happen. I mean, if I'm Watford, I don't let it happen. It's in the middle of the season, and Everton would have to be paying me over 20 million. I don't see that happening though, so I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go down. But I will say, when I watched, there's a video on YouTube. Just Google or search into YouTube Marco or Silva tactics, Okay.
I love you. I love the way you say it. YouTube. YouTube.
But search that, and there's a video. It's about 3.5 minutes long, where it basically talks about his formation that he plays at Watford and which the style that he plays. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating because so often they do a 4-3-3 or they do I think it's a 4-3-2-1. Or a 4-2-3-1. I can't try to remember what it is. And basically, the big factor that changes is Cleverly, because Cleverly will sometimes be part of that back three that helps shield the four, or he'll kind of step up and play as more of a I guess a little bit like a number 10, like an offensive center mid, attacking center mid.
A cam centre mid type player.
Yeah, but he rotates between those. And so, he doesn't usually play with a target man per se. I mean, he's got Deeney or he's got Gray,
or a Kaka, who hasn't been playing,
who never plays and who he doesn't like apparently. Apparently, they don't even get along. All right, so he likes to go with kind of a quicker front line. All right, so Richarlison, who's basically a striker, plays on the left wing. All right. And so he plays with. So I was thinking about how this would convert to Everton, all right. And it's kind of fascinating because I don't think Schneiderlin gets in the team. I think he would probably go with a typical back four. We know that.
Yeah.
And then he would go with Gay and I think Baningimi, and then either Davies or Sigurdsson as the Cleverly role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he's going to want speed on the outside. That's what he's really going to want. So he's going to want to throw Lookman, maybe Balassi at some point, maybe Calvert-Lewin. And I think he'll want Nias as that center striker type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I actually think it would translate pretty well. I just don't know where Rooney would fit in at all in that formation. Like at all.
I don't feel like Rooney should just be considered in any starting 11 of Everton's. I think he needs to go back to being used as an impact player.
Even though he's our top goal scorer. Sorry, joint top goal scorer.
That's what I love when people say we shouldn't have signed him. I just think, look where we'd be without his goals. Because his goals have not only, except the Arsenal one, but he has had important goals. The one at City, the penalty at Brighton. Stoke won the game. No, he's probably won the most points this season. I'd have to check that.
Yeah.
Statman.
We got to get a graphic with some theme music for you. So thinking about that, I think there's certain players that would thrive under Silva if it were to happen, and certain players that wouldn't. Like I don't see. It would be tough for me to see a Klaassen thriving. You know what I mean? Like, although I think Klaassen's game is similar to Tom Davies. I just don't think Klaassen would get in over Davies or Sigurdsson.
I'm so gutted about Klaassen, I was made up with that signing and
Me too.
I'm still clinging on to it, that he's going to come good, but it just feels like everybody's losing hope, and I can understand why, because he hasn't done anything so far. But
see, I personally think if he doesn't make any more appearances, he's gone in January.
Yeah, I do.
I've already seen him connected with who is it, Fenerbahce? Like I've already seen a story about
Turkey.
him.
That's the graveyard of football.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I've already seen, but that could have been a shit link, though. Let's be honest. All right.
It could just be lazy journalism, I suppose. But I'd be gutted. I think if he was going to go anyway, he'd just go back to Ajax, where he's a legend.
I'd like him to go back to Ajax, if anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, per se, I wouldn't want him to go, but I feel like if an offer came in for him, I'd say accept it, because he's never going to get game time.
Oh, so would you actually let him go, would you?
Yeah, I would. I just don't really see the point in him, to be honest. I know it's...
I don't like the idea of selling somebody before you really know what you have. I'm not complete, but honestly, Edward, could I see us potentially selling him in January? Yeah. I don't think you're the only one that feels like that, man. I really don't.
I get what you mean by saying don't sell him until you see the potential and all that, but in all fairness, what's he done in the appearances he's done?
A lot of
Not-
1 and 2 touch football.
Capital One Cup against Sunderland. One of the worst performers, and I think he was one of the worst performers on the night. Came off, and it changed the game. If honestly,
Yeah, no, I agree.
in the Premier League games he's played, he's come off, and it's changed the game. In the Europa League games, he's got 1 assist, I think, for Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
But
I think he played a part in the Rooney goal against Stoke. I know he wasn't the one who crossed the ball.
no,
But I think maybe he done a run that kind of took the defender out of place. I can't quite remember. We'd have to watch it back. But I do agree with you both, by the way. He hasn't done anything really to warrant it. But I think his last game he played, he was knocking the ball out of play. And, you can just tell his confidence was on the floor. He'd rather play a 5-yard pass than try to do anything.
Yeah.
I just loved.
he's a good player in FIFA. He's a good player in FIFA.
There you go. if he's good on FIFA, then he must be good in real life.
Yeah.
But I just think it'd be different if he come into a team who's playing well and he could have that freedom, not without the pressure.
Can we not maybe let him play U23s for a little bit?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
agree.
Get some game time. Actually, just get him playing. Period. Just
Yeah.
get him some confidence. Building up and everything. And there's nothing that says we can't bring him into the squad for a game. Hold on, Edward. You seem to have a problem with that.
We seem to have got off the topic of Marco Silva.
Marco
Oh.
Silva, though.
What about?
Is a player that might not be able to work well
Yeah,
with
that was the
class
point
and-
of it. Yes, good segue, Edward.
Yeah.
Speaking of the word "the," Marco Silva, eh? Anyway, I guess that's it. Let's pretend. Let's just really quickly say, yay or nay, whether or not, if it does happen, whether or not you're optimistic that not that it would happen, but would it work? Do you think that we would be pushing for Europe this year or next year if he comes in? Yay or nay?
Are we waiting? Oh, am I going first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. Just because I think we are limited on options, and as I said, I'm still not 100% sure, but yay for me, and I would 100% get behind him. And I could get excited about him as well.
I'd get behind him. I'd say it would work. I think it would work really well. But I don't want him if he's coming for the money and to see it as a stepping stone like Koeman did. That is my only thing. I would rather get someone with experience or someone that's new, that is in love with the club. So someone, Unsworth, I would rather have Unsworth at the minute if it's that situation. I'd rather have Deitch, maybe. I'd rather have Ancelotti, I'd rather have Tuchel. Any of those with experience that are looking to sort of build their profile but show they are the real deal, basically. They're not just using money to sort of hide it, or they're not using Everton as a stepping stone. I would rather that. So if he's here for a project and he wants to stay and he wants to manage Everton for real, then I'd get him. But if he's coming for the money, no thanks. There's better.
Viewers and listeners, you've heard it first. Edward's man crush on Ancelotti continues.
Just in case you was concerned.
His number is still on speed dial. So Carlo, we know you're watching. Edward still thinks you're great.
Yeah.
I'd do something, but then it would get edited out.
We'll just do it then.
No, don't make more work for me. Okay.
Edit it out now.
I suppose I deserve that. All right, so I'm going to say yay. I actually think, even if he does come for the money, I think he'll be a solid manager. I just don't know for how long. Because I think if he gets an offer for a club that maybe already has their stadium, I think he may peace out to a Champions League club pretty quickly. So
Plus as well, actually thinking about it, just going back to it, if it's showing he can't be loyal to Watford, then he can't be loyal to Everton.
yeah, and a lot of people say that about relationships too. You know what I mean?
I've never had one, so I can't
Once
say
a
from
cheater,
experience.
always a cheater.
I've heard that. That's right. I guess that's it. Have we given Silva and Clausen and several other subjects good consideration here, guys?
Yeah. Let's just move on.
All right. So that wraps up Silva. Will Everton wrap up Silva? We'll see. If you
Or will it turn bronze?
Yeah. Metal pun. Metal wordplay. If you're
I think we need to iron out the kinks.
I'm gonna plow through this now. So
That's it.
if you're liking our videos, please subscribe because it's like no effort to do so. It's super easy. You should also like our videos, and that's just a pure confidence thing for us. Leave some comments. Give us some analysis. What do you think of Silva? What do you think of him? Do you think we'll get him? Do you think he'll work out? Do you like his style of clothing? What do you have to say about Silva? All right. So. Also, you should check out Edward's YouTube channel, all right? Because he has all kinds of match day vlogs and additionally FIFA videos and, the occasional sonnet. Also, check out on The Sportsman, David's writing. He's got this killer piece on Lukaku where he pretty much convinces you that Lukaku is not
not as good.
Yeah.
As Niasse.
Yes.
Not as good as Niasse.
Yes. Weave the web here, guys. So I guess that's it. We need to go make, more videos. All right. Bye-bye.
Sweet. Adios.